Hey everyone, Alex here from ornamentdesigns.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this Victorian style ornament. There's a list of all the tools and materials that you will need to make this ornament on my website at ornamentdesigns.com. The first thing you'll need to do is draw a simple 8 division on your styrofoam ball. There's another instructional video on my website of how to do this, so if you don't know how to do it, please go there to learn. Cut the 8 vertical lines on your ball with the cutting tool of your choice. I like the slider knife. When you're finished cutting, go ahead and take your tucking tool and slide it through all of those cuts to widen the grooves. Now you're going to have to figure out where the front and back of your ornament is going to be. And you're going to want to put a nice black line there, and that's where your cameo button is going to fit in. And that line is important so that we can find it later, find the center, the exact center where the equator line is after the satin has been put on the ornament. Now it's time to cover your ball with satin. This is really easy. Just get your fabric, place it over the top, and start using your tucking tool. I like to use a upholstery needle. Just start tucking the fabric into the grooves. Cut it off, and yeah, keep doing this all the way around the ball until your entire ball is covered in satin. Now it's time to pin on the ribbon. And instead of starting at the top and bottom, we're going to start at the center equator line where the cameo button is going to go. Pin it at the equator and then reinforce it at the top of your ornament, like I'm doing here. Then go ahead and turn it over and do that on the other side. Start at the equator. I'm using a lighter to melt the ends of the ribbon so it doesn't fray. Go around to the other side and pin it there, and then reinforce it again at the bottom of the ornament. Now we can go ahead and test and see if our cameos will fit in. I didn't leave enough space, so I had to readjust, cut a little bit of the end of the ribbon off, and open up that space wider so that the button could actually fit in. And I like where they're placed. It's good. But I've decided not to go ahead and glue it yet. First, I'm going to go ahead and pin the rest of my ribbon around the ball, covering up all of the other six seams of the ball. I reinforce it at the top, at the bottom of the ball, and at the equator. Okay, now you can go ahead and glue your cameo buttons in, and I suggest that you wait to finish the ornament until these dry. These particular cameo buttons that I bought don't have a frame around them, so I'm using sequins and seed beads to create the illusion of a frame. Just thread a seed bead onto a straight pin, and then thread a sequin, and then pin it around the border of your cameo. Next, at the top, the bottom, the left and right at the equator, place 3 pearl-headed pins. You can place more if you want, or less. It's really up to you. Now it's time to wrap the cord. This is what it looks like when you're finished. I didn't like the way that I did it the first time, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it on the second side. You're going to replace the pins on the equator with pearl-headed pins. Then you can put a pin up near the top and down near the bottom. All right, now we're going to pin our cord. Up at the top, you're going to remove that pin, thread the cord on, and repin it. Then wrapping on the inside, wrap around, back to the top, up around, inside, and back around. Then move to the other pin on the equator, back on the inside again, down, around on the inside, and back up to the top. And then you'll take a pearl-headed pin, and you'll secure that line of cord right there. Cut the cord, and you're done with the top side. Now turn it over and do the same on the bottom. You'll notice that I haven't pushed the pins in all the way. You want to keep them out a little bit so that you have something to wrap around. Okay, now let's do it again, just like we did it on the top. Pin that there near the bottom, then down and around, down and around. You want to keep it on the inside, down and around, down and around, and then pin it with a pearl-headed pin. Now what I mean when I say keep it on the inside, I mean when you wrap down and around the equator pins, you'll keep it on the inside towards the cameo. But when you wrap it around the top or the bottom, you'll keep it closest to the pole on the outside of the pin and not towards the center to the cameo. Hopefully that makes sense. Of course, now you want to finish it on the other side, which I've already done. You can go ahead and push in all of your pins. And then you can take some more pins, some more pearl-headed pins, and I'm just placing them sort of in the corners of where the cord is on the ribbon, just to fancy it up a bit. And you can place as many of these as you like, or as few as you like, just depending on what you want to do. Okay, so now flip it to where the bottom is up, and let's finish the bottom. Thread a large pearl bead onto a pin and then a sequin, and then pin it directly to the bottom, to your south pole. Then, using some smaller beads, but larger than the head of your pins, pin 6 around on either side of your bottom. Sort of creates what I like to call a crown effect, but of course it's pointing down, so it's not really a crown. Okay, now it's time to do the top. Again, you will thread a large pearl bead and a large sequin onto a pin, and then we're going to start creating the bow. And what I did is I just created the first 2 loops of a bow, then I took it off. Then I started making my hanging ribbon, and I used this lighter color libbon here, and it's also the thickness is it's a little bit thinner. So there's my hanging ribbon. Then I want 2 pieces of the thicker ribbon, the darker color, and 2 pieces of the thinner ribbon, the lighter color. And they're all going to be the same length because I want all my loops to be the same. And then I can go ahead and loop them on. And I'm using a figure 8 motion. The shiny side of the ribbon is always going to be pointing outwards. I did 2 loops of the dark color, 2 loops of the light color, another 2 loops of the dark color, and then another 2 loops of the lighter color. And now that makes a very nice bow with your hanging ribbon. And you can just, I'm going to use glue here and pin it to the top. Now I want to create that crown effect like I did on the bottom. I want to sort of create the same thing at the top, but instead of using 6, I'm going to use 4 here. It's just easier. And actually, they're kind of hidden by the bow, so it doesn't have to be quite as elaborate. It's probably a good idea to go ahead and reinforce your hanging ribbon here. I'm just using some regular straight pins to reinforce the hanging ribbon. And things can be a little tight. I'm using the end of a pen or my tucking tool to push those down in. So that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!